So guys, in this lecture I'll show you some configuration techniques that can increase the PC performance on Windows machine. Like as you can see, I'm currently on Windows 11, the latest version that I'm using. So I will also show you the configuration setting in here, and it also applies the same for both Windows like Windows 10 and also 7. So Windows 11 is very fast system, but the performance will start digging as a result of many factors including compatibility issue and bugs, because this is still a new Windows like in 11, so it has many bugs also right now. And after using couple of months, you will feel like the PC is getting slower and slower, but it does not necessarily mean that you have to replace your PC immediately. A few software and hardware tweaks can if significantly speed up your Windows 10 or 11 experience. So also we'll have to walk through you all of those. So first, many things that after using a lot of things, like as you can see, I'm using Chrome, which is a very heavy memory hungry browser, and also I'm using, as you can see, Kali Linux machine, which is also a virtual machine. Also I'm using Recorder tool, also Windows Explorer, and also I'm using all of those only using an 8 GB RAM. As you can see, it's almost full, but if you see my computer is reliably very fast, and all of those settings are very well optimized. So I'll show you how I do that. So first you need to do is, you need to, very important thing is, you need to disable the startup softwares. As you can see, many application can configure themselves to start automatically during the startup and continue to run in the background, so wasting valuable system resources that can significantly slow down the experience. So if you want to speed up your Windows, you should disable all of those, or only disable, as you can see, I enabled only couple of those applications like Windows Defender, which is very important, and also the audio, and other all of those as you can see, all of those I disable. So make sure you disable all of those that are not necessary to run as a startup apps, and it will help very much for your Windows, because it will help your startup faster, and also it will feel smoother. So after that, so Windows has a feature that can restart the apps from your last session after a reboot. So before you sign in, although this is a usual feature that can speed up the process to resume when you leave laptop quickly, but it can also impact your system performance very much. So just go to search or setting, then go to account, or just search this option. So if you have enabled these options, so make sure you turn off this is very important to speed up your system. Okay, we're done with this. So after you complete this step, the apps that you are using won't reopen during the next restart, and it will speed up the overall system performance. And then you can disable background application, like on Windows certain application can continue to run tasks in the background even when using them. So if you want to speed up your device as much as possible, you can decide which apps can operate in the background, or disable the feature to block the apps. So to stop apps from the running in the background, you need to follow some steps. So just go to system, go to privacy and security, and go for background apps. I think there is a background apps in here. Okay, let's just search, because in Windows 11 they merge all of those. so it's hard to tag. Okay, under security, so it's, I think it's into apps. Okay, default apps. So just apps for website, just as you can see, turn off all of those. This is also taking a memory resources, so this is optional. And another thing that you can do is uninstall the new device. So uninstall the application that pre-installed into your machine. So just go to apps and features. So these are all of the apps. As you can see, I already installed a lot of apps, because usually new device comes bundled with many applications that you do not need, including the usual bloatware and system tool that you will never ever use, and it will only use spaces on your hard drive and resources. When you are trying to increase the system performance, you should always remove this non-essential application. So I only have, as you can see, the only system application, and none of those other applications are installed in here. So make sure you remove all of those that you do not need, and install only quality apps. Like, here is a well-known piece of advice: old and poorly designed apps and apps that load unnecessary features can negatively affect performance very much. Also, just because an app comes from a known company does not mean it's a good app. If you want to keep your device in a good, it's healthy and snappy, only install good apps. Typically, you want to install apps available from Microsoft Store, but I would not recommend that, because Microsoft Store's apps always takes a lot of memory and it keeps running on the background. As you can see, I have no apps that are installed from Microsoft. All apps that are installed manually, because Microsoft takes a lot of resources, and the apps that you manually install, like Python, PyCharm, this will not take your memory until you run them. So it's better to use software that runs manually and install it manually. And another thing is, whether it's a traditional hard disk, which is HDD. So let's show you. So mine, this is HDD and this is SSD, which is solid state drive, and it's never wise to use a device with the hard drive almost full, because it will affect performances. If the device has relatively new hardware, then you notice apps, managing files and other tasks are struggling to complete, it is likely because the hard drive is running out of space. So make sure you always make sure your C drive is SSD. In this day of time, is SSD is must in your Windows machine or Windows C drive. Your hard disks, another hard drive, HDD can be okay, but you must use SSD, because SSD gives a huge performance increase from HDD to SSD. So I'm using SSD in my Windows machine. So make sure you always, if you don't use SSD, make sure you buy one and use this for your Windows, only Windows purposes, and also you can use for other drives as well, but I will suggest you to at least use on Windows. The another thing is, you need to time for like in couple of weeks, checks those disks cleanup, because it will check a lot of resources in your disk or in your hard drive. So just type cleanup system files. So you'll just remove all of those files that are not necessary. So let me show you. which one of those are not necessarily useful. So as you can see, I have 3 GB of amount of spaces which I can be deleted, like Windows update cleanup I can remove easily. So all of those you can remove except for download program file. Make sure you untick this and you can just remove all of those in your Windows C drives to improve your performance. And another thing is use drive defragmentation. So if you have a drive with a older hardware with a traditional rotation pattern with hard drive, organization and data can increase the machine responsiveness. To run the defragmentation, all you have to do is just search defragmentation and optimize driver and just simply click all of those to optimize, and it will optimize all of those because as you can see my C drive is already optimized because this is SSD. So make sure you use at least in a month to use optimize if you use the older hardware. So in addition to use the defragmentation tool of the device with the older hardware, you can also use the ReadyBoost feature to speed up your computer. So ReadyBoost is not new on Windows. It's been around for many years and it is a feature that uses a flash drive or SD card to cache file into a boost of overall system performances. So enable ReadyBoost on Windows. Just connect the USB flash drive and just simply in going to properties, and there will be an option called ReadyBoost and you can use that option to boost your external hard drive. And also from time to time you don't need to use external what should I say external antivirus, because in Windows 10 and 11 antivirus like Windows Security is very protective and it's very much helpful. Usually viruses, spyware and other malware types are known to take up many resources. So although Windows comes with Microsoft antivirus which is called now Windows Security, so it's better to use this because it does not take a lot of resources and also it is very useful and very effective. So let me show you a result of my protection history. As you can see, it automatically removed all of those that found on my machine. So it's better to use this other than other antivirus program, because other antivirus program runs and takes a huge amount of resources and it continues use your services and memories, and it takes a lot of time, and that's why you may sometimes it feels like your PC is slow, but it's not. Just you're just using a high-end or high bandwidth memory eater, that's why your PC may feel like slow. Then another thing you can do is you can use scan time to time so that you do not suffer any attack from spyware or malware. It's very mandatory. So you use quick scan, it will just take couple of minutes to scan all of your important files on your hard disk. So make sure you do that and it will keep your system productive and also smooth and free. And one thing is you should always update your Windows, and this is a must. Updates happens automatically, but depending on the update or how the device is configured, they don't always download and install as soon as they become available. So if your computer is running slower than usual, it could be possible that an update is available to improve the performance. As you can see in my Windows 11, my Windows is pretty much updated today, so I don't need any update. So make sure you keep your Windows update to latest version, and always make sure you update your device driver. As you can see, my all devices are updated. So if your computer is running slow because of a compatibility issue or poorly designed drivers, you may be able to resolve the performance issue by downloading and installing the most stable or pre-release version of driver that are available from the manuscript. So as you can see, all my drivers are updated. It will very much improve your performance. And also you should always try to update your application like Photoshop, Premiere Pro, or like any other tools that you use. Also another thing you can do is in Windows you will find many visual effects from animation to shadows to more advanced visual elements such as blur and transparency, reveal, highlight, and the part of the fluent design language. So although these effects can make the experience more visually appealing, they also require system resources that can slow down the computer with older hardware. However, you can disable this effect to save resources and make your Windows very much active. So let's go just click in here advanced system setting and go to the setting in here performance, and you can just adjust for best performance. As you can see, I am using the let Windows choose because I like to have some transparency effect and all of those, because this looks much cleaner and it feels lighter. But if you are using a older hardware, you can just simply use for, as you can see, adjust for best performance, and it will disable all of those settings and it will make your Windows very much faster. And another thing you can do is you can use or disable the transparency effect to speed up your Windows, because this takes a lot of things, a lot of RAM. So let's go to our background, not in background, color I think. Okay, so in color you can disable the transparency effect and it will disable transparency and it will make your system feels like faster. And after completing this step, Windows will not just only feel faster, your device will fill up some system resources for more important tasks if you are using a low RAM. Also you can do is you can disable search indexing. Although Windows search is an important feature to find application settings and all of those, but it consumes a lot of resources and that can negatively impact the experiences, especially on low-end devices. If you keep your file organized, then you can slow down the indexing process to exclude all of those locations. Like let's go to our search setting. So go to search setting and you can just simply turn off all of those features. As you can see, this will take a lot of uses and lot of resources. So another thing you can do is you can increase page file size. So on Windows, the page file is hidden file on the hard drive that works as memory, and it acts as an overflow of the system memory which holds data for apps that are currently running on the devices. So if you increase the size of paging the file, it can help to boost system performance. So let's go to setting, let's go advanced setting, then let's go setting, and then in advanced you can use, as you can see, total paging file. You can use or set any of the paging file that you want. I am using automatically, and you can use manually to set any page, and it will automatically manage file size on all driver option. So I think I covered all of those for speed up, and also make sure if time to time you use these temporary file as a temporary command to delete all of those files, because it also takes all of your resources, and it's couple of the things that you cannot delete, and it's okay. And then another thing, you can do is you can use temp. So this is the another file that you can delete all of those files. As you can see, there are lots of files in our temp folder, and also takes all of your resources are also on the memories. So just skip all of those that you cannot delete, because these are necessary for your Windows to run. That's why you cannot delete couple of the things. But as you can see, we are not deleted, and it will makes your Windows lot faster than you think. So make sure you do that from time to time, like once in a week. And another thing to improve your performance is to just simply update your memory, because even I am using a 8 GB RAM, as you can see, my Windows feels very smooth, because I disable all of those, and also I optimize all of the settings that needs to run this Windows as smooth as it can using a low RAM. So if you want a more speed up performance, just simply update your RAM, and also use a SSD if you can. So that's all of the configuration settings that you need to set in order to boost up your Windows performance.